So you wanted a WRX that would turn heads as it drives down the road. You wanted something that looked a little bit cooler and something you would be proud to drive if you bought one. So stop being upset about the looks of the new WRX, because this is what you wanted from a brand that is known for offering all-wheel drive. A brand that is known for their go anywhere, do anything vehicle lineup in a world where SUVs are the big thing. Because to Subaru, when you say aggressive, they think of something that you can be proud of when you take it off-road, into the wilderness. The only problem is that not a single person that bought a WRX or will buy a WRX will ever take it off asphalt. My name is Omar, and this is the 2022 Subaru WRX. Alright, let's get the looks out of the way first. I mean, hey, this does look aggressive and it does have more style than the outgoing WRX, there's no doubt about that. But if it wasn't for all this insane amount of black cladding on the outside, I feel like it would look even more aggressive and even more stylish. Everyone is up in arms about the extensive use of black cladding on the new WRX, and I think it's totally justified. And according to Subaru, they justify it by saying that this makes the WRX more aggressive looking. Not only that, if you look closely at the black cladding, you'll see that it isn't just smooth, there's a hexagonal pattern on it, and Subaru says that helps with aerodynamics. How much does it really help? Who knows, but I doubt that it's a lot. But beyond the black cladding, this thing actually looks pretty nice. I really do like the new grille that also has a hexagonal pattern. I also really like the design of the headlights, they look pretty sharp. But my favorite design element on the new WRX is probably also the most controversial one, and that's the rear taillights, which Subaru says are designed to glow with a look reminiscent of volcanic magma. I think it looks really cool. Now, what does help with the aerodynamics and the performance overall are these air vents on the wheel arches that improve stability. You also have air vents on each side of the rear bumper, and that actually lets air out that gets trapped behind the bumper, and that helps reduce the body from swaying. Pretty cool. See, it's not all that bad. Not only that, the front fenders are made of aluminum. That helps the WRX now shed 5 pounds. And if you remember the Subaru Visiv performance concept, you shouldn't be surprised by the way this looks. I just wish that it actually looked fully like the Visiv performance concept, because that thing looked so fire. Those quad exhausts that were stacked on top of each other instead of next to each other looked really cool. But hey, we can't have everything that we want. Now, another reason this looks the way it does is because this is no longer an Impreza. This is as far away from an Impreza as you can get. Not only does it have different body components, it has a different engine, different transmissions, and even a different all-wheel drive system. In fact, this is based on Subaru's global platform, which underpins their crossovers and SUVs. And I bet that just got under the skin of a lot of WRX enthusiasts out there. How does that affect the drive? Well, on paper, you do have all the sport-tuned and traction control stuff, but it doesn't feel sport at all. This thing actually feels quite comfortable. I mean, it will go when you push it, but it's missing that extra kick. You do hear the turbocharger whine, but that sound doesn't translate into the performance. It's not bad. Under the hood, you're working with a larger 2.4-liter turbocharged Boxer engine that makes an extra 3 horsepower for a total of 271, and you get 258 pound-feet of torque. You have a choice of a 6-speed manual, which is the one that I'm testing here, and it has long throws. I would have preferred shorter throws, but overall this is a pretty solid and easy gearbox to use. You also have the choice of going for what is called the Subaru Performance Transmission, which is just Subaru's fancier way of saying a CVT. They just don't want to call it that. Now get this, the new top-of-the-line GT trim is exclusively available with the Performance Transmission. You can't get that with the manual, but the GT trim is also the only trim of the WRX which gets electronically controlled dampers, drive modes, and you can circle through normal, comfort, and sport. The manual transmission, well, this has none of that. So you will be punished if you want to go through your own gears. You want sport? Well, shift in a sportier way then. Now personally, I would still go for the manual transmission because it is obviously more fun to drive, and the new WRX has a broader torque curve from 2500 to 5200 RPM, and you really feel that kicking when you're pushing this thing, which makes me excited to see what aftermarket tuners do with this. So how's the steering? It's really not all that exciting. You know, I tried to really push this thing, put it through sharp turns, but it didn't really leave me feeling all that confident. I feel like the new Honda Civic Si that I just tested felt way more sharper, handled better, and just felt tighter in general than the WRX. But hey, it will still move when you push it. I believe the last WRX had a 15 PSI turbocharger. This now has a 12 PSI. The gauge cluster says 12.6. So I don't know. But again, 0 to 60 still comes in like the 5.5, 5.6 second range. So it's still pretty quick. Still one of the quickest. Definitely quicker than the Civic Si. It just doesn't feel as exciting to drive as the Civic Si. And I think that's mainly due to the steering and the handling of this thing. And it's not super quiet inside either. Listen to the wind noise at 80 miles an hour. The shift is 6, so you can hear just the wind noise and not the engine that much. Yeah, it's pretty loud. Now, let's not forget that the WRX is a rally icon. This thing is inspired by rally racing. And to be honest, that's where I think this thing will really show its true colors. The only problem is that I will never go rally racing. I live in dirty Jersey, so I will mostly be driving this on regular everyday roads, probably just like every other WRX owner out there. So what about the interior? Now, usually I'll break down the interior tech and options by going through the pricing, but Subaru hasn't announced pricing on this thing yet. But when this does go on sale and pricing is announced, you'll have the choice of 4 trim levels, including base, premium, limited, and the new top-of-the-line GT. The first thing that you'll notice once you get inside is the new Subaru Starling infotainment that's housed in a giant 11.6-inch vertical tablet on the premium trims and above. The base model gets a dual 7-inch screen thing going on. Nonetheless, all of the WRX trims get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, so that's pretty nice. This 11.6-inch display is very easy to use. The overall system is very quick, and this is one of the few displays out there that will give you a vertical layout for Apple CarPlay, which looks pretty cool. The only thing is that there is a lot of glare on the screen during daylight. It might as well just be invisible and not be there because you really can't see it. Now, if you go for the premium trim, you will enjoy things like a dual zone climate control and 3-level heated front seats. None of the trims will give you a heated steering wheel or heated rear seats. If you end up going for the limited trim like my test model right here, you'll get a 10-way power adjustable driver's seat, but the passenger seat will still be manual no matter which trim you go for. The limited trim will also give you a power moonroof as standard so you can enjoy the sun. I think the premium trim will get this as an option. And then the limited trim will give you an 11-speaker Harbin Kardon sound system, which sounds pretty nice, and you can also get this as an option on the premium trim as long as you pay extra. A lot of the driver assist tech is standard, like a rear view camera, all the assist like lane departure assist and all of that. But the limited and the GT trim are the only ones that will give you blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert. By the way, I never really understood why blind spot monitoring is optional on some cars. Is it really that expensive? If anybody knows the answer to that question, comment below. Oh, and if you want adaptive cruise control, you'll obviously have to go for the Subaru Performance Transmission, aka CVT. Now, if you do want to go all out and go for the GT, be my guest. It's tempting because it gets things like a drive mode select system, electronic dampers and all that, but you can't get the GT with the manual. Oh, and by the way, the GT is the only trim that you can get Recaro racing seats with, but I'll just be fine in these comfortable Subaru seats with my manual transmission. No, really, these seats are actually very, very comfortable. By the way, you can still set a birthday and anniversary reminder. Thank God, because without this, I would definitely forget my anniversary. Thank you, Subaru. All right, before I give you my final thoughts on the new Subaru WRX on the super windy day, let me point out a few random things that I'll have to show all of you. You have 4 cup holders, 2 in the front, and then you have 2 in the back for the rear passengers right there. Here are what the keys look like to the new WRX. You have your lock, unlock, which is the Subaru logo, and then you have your trunk and panic button. Pretty nice set of keys. It's like constantly 20 miles an hour winds outside, so we're just gonna do the door open and close sound from the inside. Pretty solid. Charging game wise, you do not get a wireless charger. You just have 2 USB-A ports right there. The people in the back are also working with 2 USB-A ports right there. And of course, let's do an indicator and horn sound test with the 2022 Subaru WRX. Indicator first. Whatever about the indicator, but this stock. Look, it's one of those that comes back up. So you gotta go like that to turn it off. It doesn't stay in place. I hate that. Anyway, horn sound. Let me turn that off first. All right, horn sound. Not that crazy, but not that bad actually. So should you buy the new WRX? Again, Subaru hasn't announced pricing on this thing yet, but I'm pretty sure that will cost more than the last gen. If you currently own a WRX, I think this is still a pretty solid upgrade. It's not significantly different in terms of its driving attributes. It's a little bit more comfortable, it has a little bit more modern tech, and a lot more black cladding. By the way, just a random thought that I had, do you think that Subaru didn't invest heavily into making the new WRX because they're going towards an electric future just like everybody else. Because if that's the case, that's pretty sad, because maybe this is the last time we'll see a WRX. Let's just say that this cost around $30,000. For that price tag, there is a lot out there that will satisfy the tiny performance enthusiast inside you. So I recommend do your research, do your shopping, do your test driving, and pick the one that best fits you. It might be the Subaru WRX, it might even be the Honda Civic, or it might be this. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace. But no matter what, having a manual transmission cannot be substituted with anything else. Okay, bye, see you. I really can't see you because of all the glare on the screen, but yeah, see you.